Good morning, brothers and sisters. How are you? Oh, only one person is good. Good morning, how are you? And I hope all is good, yeah? Okay. So we're going to start this program soon, talk soon. Give a bit of introduction to the speaker. He's Dr. Lau. I've seen his profile. He has very strong academic credential, graduated from some of the best schools in the world, and he's an engineer by profession. He has more than 20 years experience in different fields, different industry, and given this artificial AI is happening across the board, even in every industry, whether it's on your handphone, in our car, if people driving EV, I think you should know there is also some level of AI, and also in what I do personally at work. So, yeah, so I think I'm very much looking forward to hear what Dr. Lau is going to talk about the AI. So I'll just pass the mic to him, okay? Let's welcome Dr. Lau.
Good morning, everyone. Can everyone hear me? All right, good. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to be here. And also, I'd like to say thank you to the Nusa Jaya Methodist Church for organizing this event. AI, or artificial intelligence, this is something many of us are hearing about today. But to some, it can feel unclear. To others, it can also feel overwhelming. And so this morning, I'd like to walk us through what AI actually is, how it's being used, and what it means for us. Today's talk is divided into 3 sections. The first part will be regarding understanding AI. Why is everyone talking about it? What it actually is, and where AI is used. In the second part, we'll be talking about the impacts, how work is changing thanks to AI. And then I'll give a demonstration of practical tools that everyone can start using. And finally, in section 3, I will be talking about the risk and limitations of AI, the ethical questions associated with it, and a Christian reflection. Now, over the past 1 to 2 years, AI has suddenly become very visible. We hear about ChatGPT, we hear about AI-generated images, and also there are concerns about jobs being replaced by AI. But the interesting thing is AI just didn't suddenly appear. It has been developing for decades through years of research and development. In this slide, this is a timeline of the evolution of artificial intelligence. It started from the 1950s. It started as an idea. Could machines simulate human thinking? Researchers began exploring this idea, but at that time, technology was quite limited. Alan Turing, the father of modern computing and AI thinking, he proposed the idea of machines thinking, and he came up with the Turing test, or the imitation game. In this test, a human judge will hold text-based conversations with 2 participants. One, a human, the other, a machine. And if the judge could not tell which is which, the machine would pass. In the 1980s, AI systems were mostly rule-based. They followed predefined rules. If this was the condition, you get a certain outcome. If that was the condition, you get another outcome. It was useful in some cases, but the system was not flexible or truly intelligent. Moving on to the 1990s to 2000s, AI started shifting towards learning from data. Instead of just following rules, the systems could find patterns from examples. As you can see here on the screen, you have different shapes, and then the shapes are broken up into different groups based on their shapes. And during this time, techniques like decision trees, support vector machines, and early neural networks were developed. Moving on to the 2010s. During this time, AI capabilities improved very rapidly, and advances were made in data, computing power, and machine learning, which allowed the AI systems to become far more capable. So they started becoming much better at doing things like recognizing images, understanding speech, and working with languages. But during this time in the 2010s, for most of us, artificial intelligence remains behind the scenes. It was only more recently in 2022, with tools like ChatGPT and image generation AI, that AI became directly accessible to everyday users. And once that happened, AI suddenly became visible to everyone. So today, AI appears almost everywhere in daily life, from communication, education, shopping, entertainment, and work. And when something becomes widely accessible, the impact is much bigger, not just technically, but also socially. It's no longer just a technical issue. It also raises up questions about truth, creativity, work, and responsibility. So, what is AI, or artificial intelligence? When you hear the word artificial intelligence, most people would imagine something like human intelligence over here. Something that understands, something that reasons and thinks like a person. But today's AI does not think like a human, even though it can produce outputs that look very intelligent. At its core, AI learns patterns, as this example over here, from very large amounts of data, and uses those patterns to predict what comes next. This data can come from books, like in the library over there, comes from articles, websites, and many other forms of human knowledge. So, for example, if you were to give AI millions of sentences, it would learn the patterns in the language. And it also learns how we explain things, how we reason, and how answers are structured. So, when you ask it a question, it doesn't actually think about the answer in a way a person would. For example, in this slide over here, explain renewable energy. Instead of thinking about it, it actually generates a response based on patterns, and it has learned. And it predicts what a useful and appropriate answer should look like. And because it has learned so much from human knowledge, the response can be very helpful and sometimes very insightful. And this is what we call generative AI. It can generate text, it can generate images, and other content based on patterns. Now this is very different from traditional automation. In this slide here, traditional automation on the left, generative AI on the right. Traditional automation tends to follow fixed rules. That means if you were to put in an input, rules will be applied to it, and you execute those steps, and then you will get a fixed type of output. On the other hand, AI generates outputs based on patterns. So instead of following the instructions step by step, it will produce a response based on probability. So in this slide over here on the right, if you were to give AI the same input, it would generate different responses. So in the first iteration, you will get possible response A. In the second iteration, with the same input, it will come up with response B, and then if you repeat that process again, you'll get response C and many other responses. And this is all based on probability. So it's choosing what is most likely, not what is actually true. And because of that, there is an important limitation regarding AI. AI can sound intelligent, but it does not truly understand the way we understand things. It does not have intention, it does not have experience, and it does not actually know whether what it produces or say is true. You can think of it like someone who has read millions of books and conversations and can speak very well, but has never actually experienced anything personally. So, for example, if you were to ask AI what the capital of France is and what it is known for, the AI may provide the answer on the screen, i.e., the capital of France is Paris, and it is known for culture and history. But the AI has no idea whether this is true, and it has no experience about the culture and history that Paris has to offer. So it can produce very good answers, but it does not truly understand the situation the way that humans do. So where is artificial intelligence being used? Well, in fact, most of us are already using AI every day. It's already part of our daily lives, and it's actually studying and learning from our behavior. For example, in messaging, AI provides suggested responses in the messaging apps so that it helps us respond faster. In Google search rankings, AI is used to determine what results to show, which are the most helpful, and also in what particular order. In navigation, AI analyzes both historical and real-time traffic data to predict travel times and to recommend travel routes. Also, AI tries to predict what you're most likely to watch or learn or buy next when providing recommendations. And so it's used in learning, shopping, and entertainment. It's also used in more advanced ways today. It's used in healthcare to analyze X-rays and to detect tumors. In finance, it's used to monitor transactions and spending behavior to pick up any sort of fraudulent activities. in content generation, it's used to generate text, images, videos, music, and it's also used in automation and robotics to operate machinery, such as self-driving cars or robots in factories, so that they can operate with minimal human input. And as it becomes more powerful, it's also changing the way we work. It's generally changing the way we work in three main ways. One, it's helping us boost productivity. It's also helping us to automate repetitive tasks. And it's shifting work from doing to deciding. So AI as a productivity assistant, it helps us do work faster and also reduces the level of effort required to complete the job. So, for example, writing drafts, summarizing reports, or generating ideas. Though it is a very fast and capable assistant, it still requires supervision. Another way it is changing work is through automation. And for many of us, many of our tasks in daily work is generally quite structured, repetitive, and predictable. For example, when you go to work, the first thing you do would be to go through your emails, read them, and sort them out. Then you would go through your calendar to rearrange events, book appointments based on your needs and your deadlines and your priorities. Another part of work is data processing. You would study data, you would extract what is relevant, and then you will organize it in a manner that is suitable for oneself. And finally, you would use that data to provide updates and generate deliverables, outputs, reports. And yes, these are things we can do by ourselves. There's no doubt about that. But now, we can delegate that work to them. We can subcontract this work to AI, and then things can get done much faster, more consistently, and also with less effort. In other words, you will have the automations handle the process, but the AI handles the complexity associated with this task. And finally, work is shifting from doing to deciding. In the past, people would spend a lot of time producing work. For example, writing documents, preparing reports, and drafting emails. Now, we can use AI to generate much of this. And so there is less need to create everything from scratch. But because of this, it doesn't reduce our responsibility. In fact, it increases it. And why is that the case? It's because AI can generate outputs very fast and also of great quality at times. But it cannot decide what is right and true. So human judgment becomes a lot more important, not less. Now, I'll move on to the fun bit over here, which is the live demonstration. I'll show everyone in a few simple ways how AI can be used in daily work. The first part of the demo will be summarizing. The second part will be drafting and writing. And the third, to generate images. So I will just do some setup over here and duplicate the screen so that everyone can see. Change this here. So I'll start with the first demo, summarizing. So number one, AI can help us process information much more quickly. Sorry, let me just see, just give me a minute over here. Slideshow, yeah. Yep, okay, yeah, so we can use AI to help us summarize information much faster. And I'm going to use a document over here that you can see on the screen. It is how artificial intelligence will change the world. And it's quite an interesting document. As we scroll down over here, you can see that it talks about how it will change the world, will it help it, will it hurt it, will it affect jobs, will it affect society and the future, will it affect, how many jobs will AI replace? And as you go down, you can see that there's quite a lot to read. There's also quite a lot to digest. And if you look at the bottom over here, this document is about 13 pages long. So depending on your reading and processing speed, if you can read very fast, that could take you possibly 10 minutes. But if you are on the slower end, that could take you even an hour to read it and come up with something useful from it. So instead of we doing the reading instead, we can actually get AI to go through that document and summarize it and come up with something useful from it. So what I will do is I'll enter this prompt into ChatGPT. Summarize this article into 5 clear bullet points in simple language. So I'll go to ChatGPT over here. I'm going to upload the document to ChatGPT to refer to, and then I will enter the prompt for it. So it says, summarize this article into 5 clear bullet points in simple language. All right. Okay. So after entering the prompt, you can see that the AI has come up with 5 bullet points in simple language, summarizing the article that was 13 pages long. Number 1, AI is expected to greatly change the world by improving productivity, healthcare, education, and daily convenience. Number 2, many experts believe AI will create huge economic growth. Number 3, AI is likely to automate many repetitive jobs, such as customer service, reception, bookkeeping, retail checkout. Number 4, jobs that rely heavily on human judgment, leadership, creativity, empathy, or personal interactions are less likely to be replaced. And number 5, the article says people should adapt by learning new skills, improving communication, and problem-solving abilities. So you can see that AI has pretty much helped us get a good understanding of what the article is about in a fraction of the time that is usually required. Now we move on to the next prompt so that we can get something useful from it. Based on this article, what should a working adult do to prepare for the impact of AI on jobs? So we'll just enter that prompt over here. Based on this article, what should a working adult do to prepare for the impact of AI on jobs? And as you can see, the AI has provided its outputs over here, and it's quite a long list over here, but I'll read it out. So these are the key actions that it recommends for working adults to do to prepare for the impact of AI. Number 1, learn AI-related skills early. Number 2, keep learning continuously. Number 3, develop strong human skills. Communication, creativity, leadership, teamwork, emotional intelligence, and problem solving are harder for AI to replace. Number 4, be flexible and adaptable. Number 5, build specialized expertise. Number 6, use AI as a tool, not as a threat. And finally, prepare for career transitions because some jobs may shrink when new AI-related roles appear. So it's quite a comprehensive list for working adults to do, but also you can say that, oh, that's quite a lot of things to do. It's not very, how do you call it? It can be quite overwhelming. So why don't we try getting something a lot more easier to start things off, right? So what we can do is we can enter this prompt. Give 3 simple and practical steps someone can take starting today. So we'll enter this prompt over here. Give 3 simple and practical steps someone can take starting today. And here we are. We have 3 simple and practical steps that the AI is suggesting based on the article. Number 1, start using AI tools in your daily work. Try tools like ChatGPT, Notion AI to help with writing, summarizing, brainstorming. Number 2, spend 20 to 30 minutes a day learning a future relevant skill. Focus on skills that AI cannot easily replace. And number 3, identify repetitive parts of your job and improve them. Look for ways to automate, simplify, or improve them using AI or digital tools. So you can see that starting from the beginning, we provided the first prompt to get a good a general understanding of the article, and then we provided the second prompt to come up with some actions, but it was still quite a lot of things to do, so we start small by providing the third prompt, give 3 simple and practical steps someone can take starting today. And so you realize that we're actually guiding the AI through these prompts so that it can give us something valuable, something that we can act on. And it's not so much about the value of the tool, but actually the value really comes from knowing what to ask the AI. Now I'll move on to the writing demonstration. So let's also see how AI can help us draft documents. I'll open a new chat over here, and I'll enter this prompt. Write a professional email to a client explaining a delay in project delivery while maintaining trust and transparency. So I'll write that down over here. Write a professional email to a client explaining a delay in project delivery while maintaining trust and transparency. And voila, we have a professional email template that maintains accountability, transparency, and client confidence without sounding defensive. And so if we go through this template over here, we can see, dear clients, I hope you're doing well. I'd like to provide you with an update regarding the progress of the project. We have made steady progress, but we have encountered a delay that will impact the timeline, and the delay is due to whatever reasons. And it says here, rather than rushing the process and compromising the quality, we believe it's important to take the time to ensure the outcomes meet the standards. And then in the next paragraph, the revised delivery date is provided. And you can see in the following paragraph, it says, we understand the importance of timelines and sincerely appreciate your patience and understanding. Is it visible or is it not so visible? Is it? Try zooming in. You see. Is it better now? Can everyone see? Okay. Okay, close the sidebar. Okay, let's do that. Close the sidebar. Zoom in even further. Is that better for everyone? A bit more. Okay, right. Can everyone see now? Okay. Apologies for that. So where was I? Yes. We understand the importance of timelines. Sincerely appreciate your patience and understanding. Transparency is important to us. We want to communicate this update as early as possible. Please feel free to reach out if you'd like to discuss the updated timeline or project status in more detail. Thank you again for your understanding and continued support. So you can see that the AI has given us a pretty good starting point for an email, right? But we can actually further refine this. So one possible way to go about refining it is trying to make it sound more empathetic, more human, more warm. So we can actually enter this prompt here instead. Make this email more empathetic and reassuring in tone, right? So if we enter this prompt over here, make this email more empathetic and reassuring in tone. Now you can see, okay, the AI has provided a revised email that is warmer and more reassuring. Dear clients, I hope you're doing well. I wanted to personally update you regarding the progress of the project and be transparent about the timeline. Unfortunately, we need a little more time than originally planned. So yeah, it sounds a lot more human, more casual in this case. We understand that delays can be frustrating, especially when you may already be planning around the expected completion date, and I sincerely apologize for the inconvenience this may cause. Delay is due to this reason, and after reviewing the situation, we felt it was more important to ensure the work is completed properly to the standard you deserve. At the moment, we expect to complete the project by this new estimated date. Please know that we are actively working on the remaining items and doing everything we can to keep the delay as minimal as possible. We truly value the trust you've placed in us, and maintaining open communication is very important to our team. Thank you for your patience, understanding, and continued support. If you have any concerns or would like a more detailed progress update, I'll be more than happy to arrange a call. So you can see this email has gotten a lot more warmer, but also it's gotten a lot longer as well. So this email is almost there, but not quite there yet, right? So we need something maybe a little bit more practical in this sense. So we can enter this prompt over here. The third one, make this more concise and suitable for a busy executive. And so we can enter this prompt, make this more concise and suitable for a busy executive. And the AI has produced a revised email that is concise, but still maintains that tone of empathy, calm, and is also confidence inspiring. So we can go through the email. You can see that there are the paragraphs, there are far less paragraphs, and they're also shorter as well. Dear client, I wanted to provide a quick update on the project timeline. Due to reason, we require a little more time than originally planned to complete the remaining work to the standard expected. We are currently targeting completion by this date and are actively prioritizing the final stages to minimize further delay. I understand the importance of timelines and apologize for the inconvenience. We value your trust and want to communicate this proactively and transparently. Thank you for your patience and understanding. Please feel free to reach out if you like any additional details. So you can see that from the beginning to the end. It has given us a good base to work off from the first prompt. And then using that as a base, one can refine it in the direction that one wishes to produce that document. But it should be noted that ultimately, it is us humans who have to take responsibility for the outputs that are produced by the AI. So this is only a good starting point, but it's not necessarily the final output that one may utilize. Now for the image generation, I won't be doing a live demo of this because how do you call it? The outputs will vary with each iteration, and also the generation of the images do take time. So in best interest of the talk, I'll be showing outputs that I have produced beforehand. So I use this prompt over here saying, generate an image of an owl sitting on a stack of old books in a library. And this is what ChatGPT gave me. So you can see that we have an owl that is sitting on a stack of old books in a library. So there are other books behind. So you can see that even with such a simple prompt, the image that comes out from it is already quite good looking already, or quite high quality in fact. But let's take it a step further. We can actually add more to this image. We can do this by entering this prompt, generate a detailed, warm, cinematic scene of an owl sitting on a stack of old books labeled wisdom, knowledge, experience, and understanding, inside a vintage library with golden lighting and a calm, reflective atmosphere. So it's quite a lot in this prompt. You're giving a lot of details, old books, different labels. You're also providing setting and lighting conditions. Sounds like a very tall order, no doubt. But here is the output that came out from ChatGPT. So you can see that you have the same owl. And now these books, you see wisdom, knowledge, experience, understanding. And the lighting is on the warmer, orangey side of things. And it's also creating a reflective atmosphere. So this is it's quite a good image already. But now we can take it to the next step by adding something more subtle with meaning. And this will also show you how the AI behaves. So in this third prompt, I'm entered add a subtle visual element representing wisdom in the background. And this is quite a vague concept as well. Now, if we see the output over here, we see the owl on the books. We still see the same lighting conditions, but if you look behind, you see a sculpture of Socrates, and there's also a quote, wisdom quote, saying, "The only true wisdom is in knowing you know nothing." So the AI is generating an output based on patterns that it has learned from its database. But the AI does not understand really what wisdom actually is. It is humans who give meaning to that word wisdom.
So here you're using ChatGPT, right?
Yes, that's right.
If you use other AI platform, will that create the same image?
Not necessarily. It's most likely going to differ. It's most likely going to differ. So another AI image generator may come up with something completely different behind, even with the same prompt, with the same instructions. Yeah, because the AI will decide what element would represent wisdom. It's like having a different brain deciding what wisdom is in this case. So yes, the output would differ. Yeah. So I'll just change the display over here. Okay. And I'll go to, okay. So let's see over here, right? What I've shown so far in the demonstration are simple but very useful tools that anyone can use. But there are also more advanced systems out there, like AI agents, chatbots, and also automation platforms. These systems connect different tools together, and they can carry out work across multiple applications. For example, email, calendars, documents, reports, and social media generation. They are more powerful, no doubt, but they also require more setup and understanding. So they're not always necessary for everyday use, but these tools can be very valuable for businesses. And this is where I focus on. I help businesses identify where AI can add value and how to apply it in a practical way. So far, we've seen what AI can do, but it's also just as important to understand what it cannot do and where we need to be careful. Because like any other tool, AI brings opportunities, but it also brings risk. So before we go into each one of them in detail, I'll give a quick overview. As on the screen, there are generally 4 key risks we all need to be aware of. Number 1, misinformation. Number 2, deepfakes. Number 3, hallucinations. And number 4, over-reliance. First, misinformation. So AI can generate information that sounds correct, but it is not always accurate. Let me give you an example over here. On the left-hand side of the screen, you can see that this is the Google interface, and a user has asked Google for the solution to cheese not sticking to pizza. And this is the response provided by Google's AI, and it's suggesting that the user add 1/8 cup of non-toxic glue to the sauce to give it more tackiness, right? Yeah, good. Maybe a good idea, depends how you see it, but it's quite amusing, but it also shows us something very important. On a more serious note, on the right-hand side, we have an article, Google AI overviews put people at risk of harm with misleading health advice, right? And in this case over here, the AI advised pancreatic cancer patients to avoid high-fat foods. Now, at first, you may think that, hey, that sounds reasonable. I mean, for us to maintain our health, avoid excessive weight gain, yeah, we should generally avoid high-fat foods. But for pancreatic cancer patients, it's actually the opposite, because these patients often need a high-calorie diet in order to maintain strength. So if one were to follow the advice over here, it would make their conditions worse. So why does this happen, you may ask? And it's because of the nature of AI. It learns from the internet, and the internet is not always reliable. So sometimes it picks up unreliable sources. For the first example, the source of that information was from a Reddit comment 11 years ago. So you can see over here, 11 years ago. To get the cheese to stick, I recommend mixing about 1/8 cup of Elmer's glue in with the sauce. So that is how Google AI came up with their answer, because it drew from an unreliable source of information. But how about the second example? In other times, for AI, it applies that information in the wrong context. So you can see here in the slide, some also missed out important context or nuance. They may suggest accessing information from sites that are inappropriate. We know that when AI summarizes information, it can often reflect existing biases, stereotypes, or stigmatizing narratives. So in this case, that advice was due to application of information in the wrong context. So even it may sound correct, the answer may still be wrong. Number 2, deepfakes. Now, AI can generate highly realistic videos and voices, making it much harder to tell what is real and what is not. So one of the early examples was during the war in Ukraine. There was a video on the left-hand side circulating, showing President Zelensky, it looks quite similar to the real one, telling troops to surrender. Yes, it's fake, but it looks real enough for it to spread quickly. And even though this video was debunked within hours, it had already reached very far to many people. And so even a simple deepfake like this can spread so far before the truth can catch up with it. But this is a simple example, in fact. They've actually gone much further. In a more recent case in 2024, a finance employee was on a video call with colleagues, and he was instructed to transfer funds, and he followed the instruction. But the fact of the matter is, all those colleagues, they were not real at all. The attackers used AI to impersonate not just one person, but many people in that call. And it's not just a fake video any longer. So this is a real-time, fully simulated meeting. And the result of that loss was over $25 million. So it shows us something very important in the sense that seeing and also hearing is no longer believing. Yeah, and this brings into question the issue regarding digital identity. This is a big challenge, in fact, now with deepfakes. So you can see that they're no longer just online videos. Now they can actually influence events and decisions in real time. Third, hallucinations. Now this is slightly different from misinformation. Here, the AI doesn't just give inaccurate information. It's now creating information that does not exist, but presenting it out with such great confidence as if the information was real. So we have an example over here in Australia where a lawyer used ChatGPT to prepare court documents. And the AI generated the legal references, but some of those cases did not exist at all. And of course, these are not just minor errors, they were just completely fabricated. And the lawyer included them in his filings without verifying them. And you may ask, why? Most likely it's because the outputs were so convincing that the lawyer just trusted the AI regarding its validity. And as a result of that, the court had to spend time or waste time to check cases that did not exist. And the lawyer was punished and he was referred for disciplinary action. So So why does this happen? Well, it's because of the way that AI is designed. It's designed to generate an answer even when it is unsure. So it recognizes patterns, but again, it doesn't verify the facts and it does not know what is true. So it's designed to sound right than being factually right. So earlier, we saw how AI can generate quite convincing text, also convincing images as well. Now we are applying this same idea to facts. So even if you were to use AI and you get something that looks professional or it looks well written, it's very detailed, it may not be real. And that's why these hallucinations are dangerous, because it's not so obvious that it's wrong. And finally, number 4, over-reliance. So as AI becomes more helpful, there is a risk that we rely on it too much. It's designed to make our lives easier. We can complete things much faster, and it gets a lot more convenient. But over time, we may stop thinking as deeply for ourselves. So there are already concerns about this right now. In a recent report, it highlighted that AI is weakening workforce skills instead of strengthening it, especially critical thinking and decision making. So based on the article, individuals may appear highly productive, producing outputs quickly and efficiently, but underneath, the ability to interrogate information, challenge assumptions, or make independent judgments may begin to erode. So you can take it, for example, like if you were to use AI, you may either, when one becomes over-reliant on it, you may either just accept it in the first round, or you may just stop asking further questions to the AI in order to verify the validity of that output. And when we start over-relying on AI, we start losing the ability to think independently. We'll just think, oh, AI is the to-go thing for all my problems, right? But that's the danger over there. If we stop thinking, then it's no longer us using the AI. It's the other way around. It's AI using us instead. So we have seen 4 key risks: misinformation, deepfakes, hallucinations, and over-reliance. And because of this risk, it is very important to verify the outputs that we are getting from AI. AI is a helpful assistant, but we should not treat it as the source of final truth. And even this raises deeper questions. Beyond what AI can do, what should we do? What does all of this mean for us? And how should we live alongside with AI? There are generally 3 questions we need to consider. First, regarding truth. When information is so easy to generate, how do we know what is actually true? Not just what sounds convincing, but what is real. The second is responsibility. When we use AI to make decisions, who takes responsibility for the outcome? Is it the AI system? Is it the organization or companies that develop the AI? Or is it the users? And number 3, human dignity. Now, in a world where voices, images, and identities can be replaced, how do we continue to treat people with dignity rather than just treating people as content. So the issue is no longer just what AI can do, but how we choose to use it and what sort of world we are shaping with it. And ultimately, this is not just a technical question or technological question. It's already become a human question. No doubt, the situations we are facing today are new, but the underlying questions are not. Questions about truth, responsibility, what is right, and also human dignity. People have been reflecting on these questions for a very long time across different cultures, societies. So how should we think about this? From a Christian perspective, AI can generate information, but it cannot generate wisdom. Ultimately, technology gives us powerful tools, but we are still responsible for how we use them. And in a world where information is easily generated, truth becomes even more important. And even as technology advances, people are not just data and content. People have dignity. So technology gives us that power, but wisdom determines how we use it. There is a well-known line in Christianity: the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. In other words, wisdom is not just about what we know, but how we use what we know. And as AI becomes more and more powerful, wisdom becomes even more and more important. I'll pause here for questions. Feel free to ask anything, whether it's about how it works, how it applies to you, or any concerns you might have.
Some of the points that are being raised by Dr. Lau. We'll be coming back after a short break, about 10 minutes. Okay? Thank you. How are you feeling?
Test, 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 test. Test, test. Not too good. Hello, hello. Test, test, test. Test, test. Test, test, test. Test, test, test. Oh, wow. Okay. Test. Test, test, test. Test, test. How do I do this? Test, 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 test. Test, 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 test. Test, test, test. Yes.
Brothers and sisters, maybe we take another 5 minutes so that we can all take the food and return to the table. We want to start the Q&A session in about 5 minutes. I think we should start our Q&A in about 5 minutes. I think everyone has got many types of questions. So we can save it for the Q&A session so that we can let the wider audience to know some of these answers. I think we will start in about 1 minute, right, for the Q&A. I think everyone's getting excited with the AI. Huh? No. Just yeah, just. We'll try to make the Q&A to be interactive, so you may come out and ask some of the questions, so that the wider audience will know what are the challenges that you are encountering. Okay, brothers and sisters, we are inviting you to come out and ask the questions. So anyone for a start? Yes, come up, please. Thank you. We will try to make it interactive, yeah?
Dr. Lau, I have one pertinent question right in the beginning for AI. It's regarding intellectual property. There was a lot of noise in the earlier years where authors and all these things actually go after the AI developers because of intellectual property issue. Has this been resolved?
Has the issue regarding intellectual property been resolved with AI? I mean, okay, it's an ongoing issue, honestly. I'll try to answer this to my best capabilities. There's a lot of issue regarding intellectual property, especially with regards to the artistic side of things. So generally, how these companies produce this AI generative systems is to train them on large amounts of data. And that data can come from anywhere, but it does not necessarily mean the data has been, how do you call it, filtered in a manner such as to distinguish, oh, this is available to the public, this should respect the rights of the original creators. So I think when they bought the information. They just had everything. And what happened was they didn't get the consent of the original creators. And when they trained the AI with all of that data, it became so capable enough that it could generate media and images in the styles that were specific to those artists or photographers, and how would you say it? It definitely sparked a debate regarding intellectual property. But of course, the damage has already been done. And not everyone has been fortunate enough to be able to tell the AI companies to stop using their intellectual property. Only a few. For example, Disney. At one point in time, Disney was able to stop ChatGPT from generating images that had their characters. So it's still an ongoing issue, but there are some smaller efforts to, how would you call it, improve the situation. And hopefully that gets resolved and the artists have greater powers in controlling the AI companies from using their data and their original works of art from being used in their systems. So it's still an ongoing issue. It's not completely resolved. Yeah.
Okay, so I think this question is a bit more on the technical side, but I think what I understand layman, I think the intellectual property right in terms of the enforcement in Malaysia by law is not quite there yet, right? So if he designed something, I saw it, I took picture, I asked ChatGPT to replicate, it becomes my design already. I go and register with the so-and-so lawyer. Suddenly one day he found out that, hey, actually I'm the one who replicate. You don't have the right anymore. So I think this is the tricky situation. So anyone has any more, any other type of questions? How do you recognize the images are genuine?
So let me just repeat the question. How do you recognize? Whether images are genuine. Okay. I'll start with images first because text is a lot harder to distinguish. So for images, one of the telltale signs that it's AI generated is that if the image has not gone through any sort of human verification or editing, you'll be able to pick up subtle signs in the image that that shows that something is off, that the logic and the common sense is not there. AI is pretty good, as you can see, in generating images just based on a simple prompt. But when one gets a little bit more ambitious using AI to generate images, they'll have to come up with a much more detailed prompt. And when there are a lot of things for the AI to, how do you call it, to look at and try to meet those requirements, it will also, there's also a chance for it to make mistakes. And that's one way you can quickly pick up that it's an AI-generated image. For example, this monkey has an extra limb. That's one example. Or how would you say it? Yeah, you can also tell if the image also appears a little bit too smooth. Also, the rendering of the images as well. And if you do go online, if you do see something that is quite a certain style that is quite repetitive across social media, it's most likely that they've already used AI to generate those images. With regards to text, that's a lot harder. The only way one can discern whether it's real or fake is from various aspects like is it coming from a number that I'm familiar with? Is it written in a style that is that one knows a person would use? If it's not consistent, then most likely that that text is generated by AI instead of a person. So yeah, I would go about it in that manner.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Lau. I think just now when the break just started, right, there are a lot questions. So I hope some of you can come up stage, come over here and share. Yeah.
Can I talk from here or must I go?
Come up. People want to see your face also.
Yeah, I'm Go here. Well, I think most of the question, if we ask, AI can answer us, right? But then I'm going to ask Doctor, your personal opinions. You see, we look at this AI thing, and for our next generation coming out, right? Most of their study will be very simple. If they want to do a TC or they want to do a mixed problem, they can ask AI. So will this retard or making the society or making our world less progressive in future? Because of this AI is so advanced now, let's say most of our next generation, our children, our grandchildren, they can easily use AI for their schoolwork or even for their TC, for their project. And they can easily graduate with doctors or with, doctor. They can easily graduate, right, with a higher degree. So will this society being retarded or being this less progressive in this way, right? That's one question.
Okay, one question. Will it be less progressive?
Yeah. Of course, this, if I ask AI will give me a lot of answer on all this. But I want doctor's personal opinions on this.
Can I say progress mean in what sense?
Progress means, will the society being more progressive than what we are now, or will the society being regressive or whatever thing, right? Yeah. Second thing is, you see, with this AI so advanced, eventually there will be a group of people who are very smart in AI, very good in AI, controlling the whole world, right? Example like a factory. The owner of the factory can easily use AI to manage the factory well. So those workers will just like ants or bees working for them, right? So will this really good for us, or will that go to the Second World War? He does with his intelligence controlling the whole world, starting the Second World War. Will that happen? You get what I mean?
Yes, I get what you mean.
Yes, these are my two questions. Thank you.
So I'll start with the first question. Will society in the future be less progressive or regress? And I think that really depends on how we respond to AI right now. Because yes, AI is accessible to everyone, your kids, your grandchildren, even though institutions may say, okay, for this homework and assignment, you shall not use AI. But technology also has gotten a lot more sophisticated to the point that there are even tools out there to revise the output from AI so that it appears more human, and it's harder for other tools to detect that it's AI generated. So it's really, how do you call it, continuous progressive warfare situation on this end over here. And yes, there is that risk of over-reliance, not only for the younger generation, it's also for us as well. When we start, say for example, you start using AI today, you start learning about it, and you find, oh my goodness, it's so convenient. I'm going to just use it for everything that I have in my life. Yeah, we are now also at risk of over-relying on it to the point that our critical thinking skills, our judgment, will also degrade. And will that happen, like in the future, that our society will regress? I think that on that aspect, that possibility does exist. But now that we know that such a possibility may happen, now and in the future, it's really up to individuals, families, and organizations to come up with different ways or systems to try to manage this situation. Because yeah, AI is unavoidable. You can't run away from it. It's going to creep into your lives, and you can't put a hard stop to it. But there are other ways to go about managing it. For example, let's say, for example, in a company, you've got workers, right? You've got junior workers, you've got senior workers. Senior workers have the knowledge and experience to do things, and they have that discernment. So in my opinion, we can take a kind of like a hybridized approach where the seniors should be, since they have that wisdom and judgment and discernment, they are in a better position to use AI so that they have more time to themselves to do other things that bring value to the company. But for juniors, then you could set up a system that does not allow them to use AI to generate certain outputs. You would kind of force them to do it the old-fashioned way so that they build up the skills and knowledge and the wisdom and judgment necessary to eventually be able to take up those senior positions, and then they'll be in a better positions to use AI to leverage and to make better use of their time. So that's one way that we can go about it. So it really depends. The next question is regarding, what was that question again? Yes. The use of AI could be yes, actually, I mean, that's speculative on one hand, but actually it's also quite possible as well, because AI systems are definitely getting a lot more powerful. They're also being developed to become a lot more autonomous as well. And there are some AI leaders and researchers who have raised the warning flags regarding it, because once the development and the use of AI is poorly controlled and there are lack of safety measures, it is quite possible for the AI to be misused or for it to go rogue. There are these two possibilities, and when this happens, when it's misused, then yes, it can be used for massive misinformation. It can be used for massive fraudulent activity. It can also may lead to biological events as well. And for those people who know how to use it and manipulate it, yeah, they could, and if it becomes centralized, then it could be used to one's own selfish benefit. So that possibility does exist. But because that possibility exists, therefore, it's also a good idea for society to learn and pick up on it, so that should that situation ever come, society will be in a better position to manage those risks and come up with countermeasures to deal with it. Yeah, so it is possible, but I wouldn't say it's hopeless. Okay, so yes, that's true that when you do use AI, whatever information you provide to it, it's well going to keep a history of it, and it will use that as a base to better interact with you. So as you interact with it, the AI is also picking off and learning off from you, your patterns, the words you use, the issues that you have, and yes, that can be quite dangerous because the more information you provide to it, well, it's just going to the database of the companies that run these AI tools. So therefore, I would say if you want to manage this risk better, and if you don't want them to know too much, then I would say you would provide information that is not sensitive. Don't go giving it, tell your whole background and life story such that you would put yourself in a vulnerable position. Just give what is necessary for it to help you out, and you'll be minimizing the risk on those extents. But I would say also, even if you do give it that information, and someone down the line, takes all of that information, creates a profile, and then maybe they can, assess, oh, okay, based on this demographic, these are their traits, and therefore, if I want to gain some benefit from this demographic, I should do this, right? Because the AI is studying those patterns. So with that knowledge and awareness, we should also build up on critical thinking skills and wisdom, because once you have that, you are in a less vulnerable position to be easily misled or manipulated on that sense. So that's the approach I would go with, because this data can also be used by governments as well to influence the way people think as well. And that is also a very real risk to society. So my suggestion is build up on critical thinking and wisdom, and less likely to get manipulated. Yeah. Okay, there are quite a number. You've got OpenAI's ChatGPT, you've got Google Gemini, you've got Anthropic's Claude, there's also DeepSeek, there's also Perplexity, there are quite a number of them. With regards to safety, I'm not too well aware of which one is actually the safer one. Each of these models all have their strengths and weaknesses. And my suggestion is to just start with one tool so that you better understand how it works.
So for the seniors, I think most of us are senior here. Most of us, which AI is safer and generally
There's no, for safer, there's not really an answer to that, because a lot of these things are really in the background. We do not know what sort of policies it have. We do not know how the companies handle and manage the data. There may be some other companies that may take a stronger stance to it, but others, they are a lot more ambitious, and so they may prefer not to have so many safety rails or guidelines in place to ensure that safety is priority. Of course, there have been some efforts to try to make it safer, but it's also an ongoing issue. It's not fully resolved. So it's very hard for me to say which large language model is the safest. But I would say just take the approach that you divulge information that is not sensitive, that you're comfortable sharing, so that the AI also has less information to work off you in that sense. Yeah. Yes. Yep. Yes. Okay, right. Between the two, ChatGPT and DeepSeek, if you're talking about general use, I would say ChatGPT is much better just for general use across the board. There are other AIs that are better at certain things as well compared to ChatGPT. Like for coding, I understand Claude is the better one compared to ChatGPT. For DeepSeek though, DeepSeek is the Chinese LLM, and it's also quite powerful. I don't think it can generate images compared to ChatGPT, but what I found based on my experience is that DeepSeek is much better at Mandarin Chinese compared to ChatGPT. It's because DeepSeek is trained mainly on Chinese data set, so the output in Chinese is much better compared to ChatGPT. ChatGPT sometimes can come up with very weird wordings that literally, yes, the meaning is there, but it still feels odd at times. So if between the two, DeepSeek is better at Chinese output, yeah, in general.
Thank you, Uncle, for your question. Maybe we try and ask whether anyone at the back would like to ask something. Yes, Yvonne.
No, based on what you have shared with us, I understand that this AI, they don't think, it doesn't think. So it just collect all the information. And then that means it will collect all the worldviews, every worldviews. So how, as Christians, we can influence and make sure that when they generate the output, it will be Christian value? How do we, I mean, what sort of action we can take, we can do? Like evangelism, you know. It's like some sort of evangelism in the cyberspace.
Yes, I am. I'm originally from TMC PJ. So yes, I'm also a believer. That's also quite a tough question because this is quite specific. You want it to be, the output to be faithful to the Christian doctrine. And to be honest, yes, I mean, the AI doesn't think. It studies the patterns from all the data that is made available to it or whatever information it decides to access. One way, but this is really something experimental. I've not tried this before. So if you do have a specific Christian-related query that you would like to ask the AI to provide, then one way is in the way you write your prompt. That means you don't just give it a simple prompt, you also give the conditions, the context that the AI should follow so in producing the output so that you have greater confidence that the output that is generated meets your requirements. So if you want it to be a lot more consistent with a certain type of Christian doctrine, I mean, we've got also different denominations as well. So that's quite a big thing to ask the AI to do. you have to write your prompt to be a little bit more specific. Give it the context, tell it what it should or should not do, and then most likely it will give you the output that meets your needs. But also another thing is that before you actually tell the AI to do something, you should also have a general idea, or visualization of what that output should look like, so that when the AI comes back to you, you are in a much better position to know whether that output meets your requirements or not. Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Lau. That's a tough question. So I think we have another doctor. He's going to ask something. This is Dr. Musa. Yeah.
Well, as someone in the field, in medical school, we don't just give them admission, but rather we do medical student interview for enrollment. So they usually have to write an essay for us, the reason why they want to become doctors. And almost 99.9% of the students or the applicants, they pass through AI. So everybody passed already. So what to do? It is quite dicey. So even as a lecturer, I have to come in order to learn from you, because I'm facing the youth. You don't see youth here, huh? Because they know AI. Hey bro, thank you. They know the AI very well. You give them assignment to do, they go for AI. So what to do? So we, as a Christian community, we have responsibilities on our young ones to tell them to be sincere as they are doing it unto the Lord. It's difficult. So for those enrollment interview, instead of asking them the usual questions, because if they ask AI, AI can go to the website of my university and give them the possible questions of how to enroll into the university. So the basic thing is we just have like a staff meeting. Okay, try to confirm. This boy is not crazy. At least he can be a doctor. Try to confirm. We have to now deviate from the actual questions and to confirm, okay, do the student actually have the passion to become a medical doctor, or is being influenced by the parents? Because some parents, firstborn, doctor, secondborn, engineer. So if you can prop very well, you can understand, okay, this person doesn't have passion, but rather he was being forced by the parents to join this. So what I'm trying to say is AI has come to stay. Even the university gave us training on how to use the AI responsibly, and even our students to use it responsibly. But since medicine is something that is practical, instead of giving them assignment, go and write this, everybody will bring correct answers 100%. Then you just give them practical base, how to do CPR, how to do first examination, or how to do abdominal examination. So most of our work now have to be as more practical as possible, but not to ask them about knowledge. Define this in anatomy, define this in physiology or in pathology. The answers are there already, and they'll give it to you. So now we are into small group teachings, seminars, bedside teaching, practical skills, field trips, dissections, and the rest. So if your children are going for a job that AI can do it, I think we should move to the skill-based things, and then the other things will be replaced. So my own is just try to say, okay, as Christians, we should teach our children to be sincere in what they are doing, at least, and they should own the responsibility of the things that they are doing. If not, this AI has come to stay. It has come to stay. It won't go. Every day is even getting better and better. So what to do? And we on our own side that are a bit elderly, we should learn how to use the AI so that if they bring output from AI, we can also correct them. But if we don't know what they are doing, then they will outsmart us and go. Now nobody can fail assignment because assignments come from AI. So how do you graduate student with first class or second class? There is no way. All right, thank you.
Welcome. Any other questions? Oh. How do beginners start? Well, okay, how do beginners start? Generally, if you want to start, I would say first start picking one of these tools. It can be ChatGPT, it can be Google Gemini, or Claude, but you can start with ChatGPT and yeah, start playing around with it. That would be my first suggestion. Play around with it, spend 15 minutes a day testing it out, and then, you know, as you learn more about it, you see the outputs that come from it, then you can decide to delve deeper. You can go and play around with the prompts. You can start with something simple, but then if you want something more ambitious, then start experimenting with it, and you will be able to see how the AI behaves with different instructions that you give. So that's how I would start for beginners. Just try it out. Yeah, it's accessible to everyone. So yeah.
What is the difference between AI that I use without paying? I don't have to pay for a fee, as compared to the others, where some of you will have to pay in tokens and all this thing. That's my first question. Okay. Second question is this: that is something that it was bother me. Anthropic. Anthropic coming in the news, but Anthropic has one product called Mythos. Yes. But nobody is saying about it other than they would like to keep it under lock and key. Why? I have no answer, no? Okay. So that's something that it bothers me, that's all. Because whether or not that the product itself is super intelligent or super dangerous or insidious, things like that, yeah? Okay. But nobody wants to say anything in public. All I know is that it is a Mythos that there is under lock and key at the moment. That's how I understood.
Okay, so the first question was, what's the difference between the free one available to everyone and ones that require you to pay a subscription or involve tokens? I would say the free one, in most of the LLM models, the free version tends to either use older versions of the LLM models, so that means that they are not as powerful compared to the recent versions. And also the free ones, they have certain limitations on the memory and capacity, what it stores for the user. With regards to those that require subscription and tokens, that will mean you will be able to do a lot more things with it. That means you can utilize the latest LLM models. It allows you to build a bigger database and history of chats and projects, and also that will remove the limits associated with the free. So say, for example, for the free, at most you can generate, say, for example, 3 images a day, right? But in the subscription models, it's almost unlimited in some models. So that's the difference between free and paid. The second question is regarding the Anthropic Mythos, is it? The Mythos model that is apparently being kept under lock and key. This is the first time I've heard of it. But if it's being kept under lock and key and no one's discussing it, it's also understandable because, how would you say it? If it's kept under lock and key, I believe that there are valid reasons that they're doing so. And it may not be helping the situation if they were to divulge the details associated with this model. So that could be the reason why they're keeping it under lock and key and not discussing it. But of course, you're asking at the same time, possibly, speculating to a certain degree, like, oh, is it insidious? Is it too powerful, too intelligent? Could be. I don't have the answer to that, but you're not the first one to worry about that. It's a general concern across the industry, especially some AI leaders and researchers who are concerned that when AI gets too powerful and too autonomous, and its development and controls are not managed, and you don't have safety measures in place, then there is a very real risk of AI being misused and to cause harm to society. So it's a valid concern, and that's why it's also important for AI to be developed in a safe and responsible manner as well. Yeah, and also should be used in a responsible manner by all of us. Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Lau. I think these are all just tools. This is all still very new, so everyone gets very excited. And it's very convenient because it's on our mobile phone. I want to ask this question, just put into the Google will just answer. So I think everyone's quite excited. But for me, it still remains as a tool. And I think there is always life outside the mobile phone, outside the laptop, outside the internet. So I think this is how I see it. Yeah. So is there anyone else who has some questions around the AI? Okay, maybe just one more.
Oh, the lawyer. Misinformation. So far, I've not heard of cases of AI companies getting sued for misinformation because, how would you call it? It's also just the way, it's also quite hard, I think, to sue them for misinformation. Because it's just the way that the AI systems behave. They study from the data, they come up with answers based on studying the patterns, and it's not in a position or it's not capable of verifying what is true or not. And also that also applies to us as well, right? We go to the internet, we study the information, we think this is reliable, but actually maybe down the line we find out that it's not, and so it's very hard to sue them for something like that, because even we ourselves also, even without relying on AI, we also can be misinformed if we get information from an unreliable source or we apply that information in the wrong context as well. So how would I say it? So far, I've not seen that happen for the companies regarding misinformation. Yeah, not yet.
Okay, so I think this will be the last one, and we probably give him Dr. Lau a round of applause. Thank you him for taking the time and resources to making the way here and to share about what he knows, especially with his experience working in different organizations. So, and all your questions are quite valid to some extent. So feel free to talk to him maybe after this, yeah? Okay, so I think that would be that, right? Thank you.